Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Heat blockbuster trade proposal lands NBA young star, forms new Big Three. After their messy divorce with their former franchise star Jimmy Butler, the Miami Heat suffered their first losing season in 6 years. Their embarrassing sweep at the hands of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the first round of the NBA playoffs could lead to sweeping changes in the organization. Bleacher Report's Zach Buckley proposed a blockbuster trade for the Heat to land their next star in Memphis Grizzlies point guard Ja Morant, forming a new Big Three with Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro. Miami Heat receive Ja Morant and Jay Huff. Memphis Grizzlies receive Duncan Robinson, Kyle Anderson, Nikola Jovic, Jamie Jaquez Jr., a 2025 first-round pick, via GSW, a 2029 first-round pick, top 4 protected, and a 2031 first-round pick. Their long-standing itch for half-court scoring has yet to be scratched, and their star power hasn't been where they needed since splitting with Jimmy Butler. Morant could help on both fronts. He's an electric downhill scorer and a skilled creator for himself and his teammates. While there would be defensive question marks with a Morant-Tyler Herro backcourt, their offensive upside would be enormous, and they would have Adebayo and head coach Eric Spoelstra around to help correct some of those mistakes, Buckley wrote. Getting Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies could be a solid replacement for Jimmy Butler III in Miami. Morant might need a change of scenery after he and the Grizzlies have spiraled since his gun-related incidents. The Heat culture under Pat Riley might just be what Morant needs to straighten his ways and get back his focus into basketball. After Morant led Memphis to the second round in 2022 in a grueling series where they pushed eventual champion Golden State Warriors to 6 games, the Grizzlies have only won 2 playoff games since then. After their tumultuous season ended with the Cavaliers sweeping them, Adebayo forecast a busy offseason in Miami. There's going to be a lot of changes this summer, Adebayo said. Just from my point of view, understanding how the guy with the silver hair works. Just be prepared for that. Adebayo was clearly referencing Heat president Pat Riley, who hates losing. Riley has a solid track record of retooling the Heat from the Big Three era of LeBron James, Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to Butler. The Heat have no cap room to add a significant talent. So, the trade market will be their only pathway to shake up the roster that is so far away from contending for a championship, let alone in the Eastern Conference. ESPN's Bobby Marks urged the Heat to consider dismantling their current roster and go full rebuilding like how the young teams on the rise now such as the Oklahoma City Thunder and Houston Rockets. It's very hard threading the needle, Marks said of the Heat on the April 30th episode of NBA Today on ESPN. They've been a play-in team the last couple of years. Would they ever consider taking a step back, potentially taking the Oklahoma City approach? Maybe you get a core player back and draft picks and going in that direction, they are going to be where they are a year from now, if there are no changes here. It may have to be taking a step back instead of going star chasing. However, rebuilding isn't in Riley's vocabulary. He did not tank when James left the Heat as the team stayed afloat as fringe playoff team until they acquired Butler, who led them to the 2 NBA Finals appearances. One player Miami Heat must trade in 2025 NBA offseason. As the Miami Heat enter a critical offseason after being eliminated in the first round of the NBA playoffs by the Cleveland Cavaliers, the team could be making some crucial decisions involving trades. With the Heat expected to make big changes, some could be going after a big star, but there could be players who might have played their last season on the team. When answering the question on what player on Miami needs to be traded in the offseason, there seems to be one answer that is repeated, which is guard Terry Rozier. There's no denying the frustrating season Rozier had for the team, turning in quite possibly his worst of his career, falling out of the rotation by the end of the year, even when he was thought to be one of the top players for the team. This past season, Rozier averaged 10.6 points, 3.7 rebounds, and 2.6 assists per game while shooting 39.1% from the field and 29.5% from beyond the arc in 64 games. The points per game are the lowest since the 2018-19 season, with the Boston Celtics, as the field goal percentage and three-point percentage are the lowest since his rookie season in 2015-16. As the Heat star and Rozier struggled mightily during the season, one has to wonder if the neck injury at the end of the 2023-24 season impacted his play at all. Missing the rest of his first season in Miami with the neck issue was the start of the many shortcomings for Rozier, as he spoke about the difficulty heading into this past season, according to the Miami Herald. "I'm not really a guy who tries to backtrack on a lot of things," Rozier said. "I just try to move forward and see where life can take me. But obviously, I don't think anybody wants to go through something like that. To have a neck injury and then have to miss the playoffs, which is one of the main reasons that you came to this organization. Then you have to reset all over again, sit out, and not do things that are part of your typical summer. You got to work on just trying to get strength in your neck, and you can't touch the court. So it's a little different. But I just still appreciate everything. I'm still playing, I'm healthy." Going into this season, there were many expectations on Rozier starting alongside Tyler Herro in the backcourt, where it would be explosive for the first 4 games of the season, averaging close to 20 points per game. However, taking a backseat to Herro's emergence along with the offensive share of Adebayo and Jimmy Butler at the time, Rozier lost the groove and never consistently found it. What's next for Heat entering critical offseason with Kevin Durant, Giannis trade rumors existing? With the Miami Heat looking to make big changes this upcoming offseason, fans are theorizing which stars the front office could add to the team. As the Heat are looking to move on from the Jimmy Butler drama, adding another star alongside their main duo of Bam Adebayo and Tyler Herro will be their key, with such names as Kevin Durant and Giannis Antetokounmpo being mentioned. The team's captain in Adebayo would in some ways put out the challenge to Pat Riley and the front office in making a move, as he said he expects a lot of changes this summer since he has an understanding how the guy with the silver hair works. "I don't know, there's going to be a lot of changes this summer, just from my point of view, understanding how the guy with the silver hair works," Adebayo said after Game 4, where Miami got swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers. "So just be prepared for that. And for me, man, it's understanding, got to figure out how to win a game in the playoffs. You understand how hard it is when you actually get into these trenches. So take that and you figure it out." With the rocky relationships of the Phoenix Suns and Durant, plus the immense amount of rumor surrounding the split of the Milwaukee Bucks and Antetokounmpo, there's no doubt the Heat will be connected to the players. However, some fans might have déjà vu when hearing the team will go whale fishing for a star, as they remember what happened with Damian Lillard, among other players. With the Heat led by Herro and Adebayo, the question remains if the team could add rather than subtract, as the assets could be a concern this summer. This was mentioned by ESPN's Bobby Marks, who said that Miami doesn't have enough trade assets to go big game hunting with their 3 tradable first-round picks, as the first will likely be in the 20s. Besides the draft capital, the players currently on the roster are either not valuable in the eyes of other teams, like Terry Rozier and maybe Andrew Wiggins, or young players that the Heat wouldn't want to give up, like Kel'el Ware. However, to get a perennial top 3 or 5 player like Antetokounmpo, you would have to give up more than probably you would want to, which could include either Herro or Adebayo. Speaking during Wednesday's exit interviews, Adebayo would follow up on his comments that subtly mentioned Riley and said that while he won't go into the logistics, he just wants to win. "At the end of the day, I want to win," Adebayo said. "So I can't really go into the logistics or tweaks and everything. I feel like that's more of a Pat Riley question. I hope you can ask that question to him, and he doesn't blow you off and ignore you. But for me, he knows my mentality. He knows I want to win. We want to be in the best way possible to do that. So after he talks to you, he'll probably talk to me and figure it out. And you, fan? What do you think about Antetokounmpo's situation? Write to us in the comments.